Hey guys, and welcome to One Kitchen. I am Julia. This video today here is going to be a little bit different, but also with tons of fun and a delicious dish. Eric has an awesome channel here on YouTube. He is doing some very funny and entertaining videos. He do taste tests, and he has a series called Eric Mealtime. He's also doing a series called Guy in a Suit, which is also very fun, and he does a lot of other awesome stuff here on YouTube. And he reached out to me here on my channel and he asked me to teach him how to cook a dish. So basically I am going to show you, Eric, how to make a delicious Danish beef sandwich, as we call it here in Denmark. And I'm of course also going to show it to you guys who are watching here. And it is such a delicious Danish burger, which is topped with brown gravy. It is a true calorie bomb, but it is so good. And since you, Eric, has tasted so many burgers over on your channel, I thought it would be the best to show you how to make a delicious burger in a Danish way. So let's get started. So I'm going to do this here in parts, and the first I am going to show you guys and you, Eric, how to make is some crispy onions, which we in Danish call sprøde. So please try and say that, Eric. And you can both go out and buy them, or you can make them, and of course I'm going to show you guys how to make it. But Eric, if you want to do this very easy, you can easily just go out and buy some, but homemade is of course always the best. So for these crispy onions here, or sprøde, I am going to use some yellow onions, which I have just chopped into some pieces, and then I'm also going to use some flour. And I have not measured out my flour because it really depends on how many crispy onions you want to make. And here is the other option if you want to store-buy them. They look like this, nice brown and crispy. And I'm also going to use a fryer for this, but if you don't have a fryer, Eric, you can easily just heat up some oil in a pot just to around 180 degrees C. So I am that kind of person who really don't care if I get messy fingers in the kitchen. But Eric, if you don't like to get messy fingers, you can easily use some forks or some spoons to mix this here around. But I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm just going to add my onions into my flour here. And then I'm just going to mix it all in just to get these onions here nice and covered. So the oil is now ready, and I am not going to use my fingers for this here because that is pretty darn hot. So I'm just going to add in my onions into the oil here, and it is those 180 degrees C. So just in with them here. So they have now been in the oil for exactly 3 minutes. So I'm just going to take them up now and place on my paper towel here and just let them drain off. And now, Eric, we have to get started on the next step, and that is some soft caramelized onions. And yes, this burger here is all about those delicious kinds of onions and that gravy. And while I am preparing, and while you are preparing for this, you can try and pronounce bløde løg or bløde caramelized løg, which means soft onions or soft caramelized onions. So to make these bløde løg here, I am going to use some more onions, of course, some butter, some vegetable oil, and also a pinch of salt. So I have a pot here on my stove, and I am just going to add in my butter now. And you can hear that sizzling. And then in with some oil as well. And adding in oil and butter at the same time really makes the whole difference, because then the butter can get up to a higher temperature. Otherwise it would burn in this process here. So when my butter is melted here, I am just going to add in my onions. Right now I have this here on high heat, but just in a minute or two, I am just going to take it down to medium-low heat. And these here takes around 25 to 30 minutes to be deliciously brown and caramelized. So Eric, you need to stir in it once in a while to make sure that this here doesn't burn. But now I'm just going to put this here over at my other stove so we can get started on my beef patties. So while my onions are over there at my other stove, you can probably hear them sizzling, I have prepared 2 beef patties here, which we in Denmark call bøf. And well, yes, that is what we call them, and I've just added some salt and some pepper to them, so do that as well, Eric. And I have a pan right here, and what I'm going to do to that pan is just to add in some oil. So and when the oil is heated up, I'm just going to fry my beef patties in there on both sides, and when they are nice and done, I'm going to remove this here from the pan. But Eric, do not clean this pan here. I cannot say it enough, do not clean it, because we are going to use the flavors in this pan here for our delicious sauce. So my beef patties are still frying here, and Eric, remember to stir in those soft onions, soft caramelized onions, and I have also added a pinch of salt into my pot with the soft onions in, so remember to do that, Eric. But before these beef patties are completely done, I will show you guys and show you, Eric, what you have to use to your delicious brown gravy. And what I am going to use for this sauce here, which can be quite maybe a bit tricky for you, Eric, because you live in Japan and I live in Denmark, so you might not have the exact same ingredients, but we will try this here anyway, and hopefully you can find some substitutes to use instead. But what I'm going to use for my delicious sauce here is the flavors from the pot, of course. Don't clean it, Eric. And then I'm going to use something called HP sauce, or HP as you would say in English, HP sauce, which is an English sauce which has, let's see, what does it have? It has some tomato puree, some vinegar, some sugar, some dates, a little bit of flour, salt, spices, aroma, and stuff like that. So hopefully you can find an English sauce over there in Japan, Eric, I hope so. And then I'm also going to use some water, some heavy cream, salt, pepper, and here I have some concentrated veal stock. This here is just so much more delicious than some broth cubes. But Eric, if you cannot find a delicious good quality veal stock concentrate like this, you can easily just add in 1 or 2 beef stock cubes instead, but it's not going to be completely the same, but it can be done. And then I'm also going to use some water. And here in Denmark, hopefully also in Japan, we have something called saucecolor. I'll try to say that. Which is a brown color that colors the gravy into a brown and delicious color. It is not food coloring that you will use in cakes and stuff. This here is only for sauces, stews and stuff like that. But this here is going to be my ingredients for my sauce. And if you are having trouble, Eric, to get the sauce nice and thick, you can also add a bit of flour into the pan first, just to kind of get it a lot thicker. But right now my beef patties here are done, so I'm just going to take these off the pan. So I'm just shaking my veal stock here just to make sure that all of the flavors are coming together in here. Alright, so now I'm ready to make my sauce here. So into my pan here, I'm just going to add in my concentrated veal stock. And then in with my water here. And just stir all of this here together and just let this here come. So this here is now up and boiling, so I'm just going to add in some salt. and a little bit of pepper. And now for the best part, in with my heavy cream, and heavy cream in a sauce, or sauce as we call it here in Denmark, makes a sauce so delicious. So in with that now. Oh yes. And I also now have my caramelized onions here. They look a bit dark here on the camera, but I promise you they are delicious and so sweet and tasty. And of course I added that little pinch of salt as I told you to do, Eric. And now I'm just waiting for this delicious gravy to be done. So while my sauce here is reducing, I'm going to add in some of my saucecolor, just to give it that delicious brown color. Okay, that was so not enough. So I completely forgot one ingredient, and that is my HP sauce. I'm sorry about that, Eric, but add that in too. You can still do it right now while the sauce here is reducing. But just remember, I know you are watching this here before you are making my recipe, just add it in before you are reducing down your sauce. But I'm just going to add some of that in here. I cannot believe I forgot this. I have about 1 to 2 teaspoons in here now, and I'm just going to stir that in nicely, and now I'm going to let my sauce reduce more. And when my sauce is the thickness that I want it to be, I'm going to add in back my beef patties and just let them cook in there for about 5 to 7 minutes. So my beef patties are now done in the sauce, and what I'm going to do to assemble my burger, I'm of course going to use my crispy onions that we made, my caramelized onions, and they look quite dark on the camera, I have no idea why. But then I'm also going to use some pickles, some tomato ketchup, some raw yellow onion, and then a burger bun, of course. And of course I'm also going to use my beef patty and my delicious sauce. I'm now ready to assemble my burger here, and it is just, I love this recipe here. This gravy here is just so good. I really hope you like this here too, Eric. And don't forget to check out Eric's channel and see him make his attempt on this beef sandwich here. It is just so good, and don't forget to subscribe to Eric's channel as well. He is just so entertaining to watch, and he is doing some amazing work over at his channel, so check him out. The link is of course down below in my description, and don't forget to try this burger out here. I have written the whole recipe down below in my description. Of course, I really don't have the measurements for the onions. I'm just going to write down the amounts. And yeah, that is it for me today, and check out Eric's channel, and bye.